Introduction. Schrödinger's cat experiment is a thought experiment widely recognized for its intriguing paradox. Possibilities are not just possibilities are existing reality in quantum world. For those unfamiliar, the premise involves a cat sealed within a box containing a device linked to the decay of a radioactive atom, which could lead to the cat's demise. Schrödinger proposed this scenario not as a literal experiment, but as a way to highlight the bizarre implications of quantum mechanics, specifically concepts like quantum superposition, the ability of a quantum system to exist in multiple states simultaneously, as well as hinting at ideas that later evolved into interpretations like the many worlds theory and the complexities of quantum entanglement. Surrounding influence. Consider the very air around us, a dynamic tapestry of molecules, fields, and energy, all intricately connected to our existence. In a room where life has departed, the very essence shifts. Oxygen consumption ceases, carbon dioxide levels stabilize, and the vibrant energy of a living being fades. Conversely, life is a constant exchange, a dynamic interplay, where even emotions like anger can visibly alter our breathing and energy expenditure. It's this delicate balance, this profound difference between the static state of absence and the dynamic flux of existence, that Schrödinger's cat thought experiment so brilliantly and paradoxically explores within the confines of its sealed box. Cat perception. If we grant the cat even a basic form of consciousness, then the superposition extends beyond mere physical states. The cat, in its own subjective reality, might exist in a superposition of conscious experiences, the feeling of being alive and the non-feeling of being dead. This mirrors the physical superposition, where the cat is neither definitively alive nor dead. The opening of the box doesn't just determine the cat's physical state, it collapses its conscious experience from a superposition of feline being and non-being into a single definite reality. Quantum entanglement. According to the principles of quantum mechanics, before the box is opened and an observation is made, the radioactive atom inside exists in a state of superposition. This means it is simultaneously in both states, decayed and not decayed. Because the fate of the cat is inextricably linked to the state of this atom, decay triggers the poison. No decay means the cat lives. The cat itself is also in a superposition. Reality, therefore, the cat's state is not definite until an interaction occurs, typically the opening of the box by an observer. Here, the cat is in a superposition, existing between two realities, a state that, from our perspective, could be likened to a godlike position of potentiality. What is the reality that the cat is truly in? If the cat's state remains an unactualized superposition until an interaction, be it a conscious observer opening the box, or perhaps even the internal workings of the death mechanism forces a transition to a definite reality, a compelling question arises. Could it be that the very act of observation, of measurement, plays a fundamental role in creating the reality we perceive? Extending this line of thought, particularly if consciousness is deemed a necessary component for wave function collapse by some interpretations, we are compelled to ask, are we, as conscious observers of the universe, in some way the architects of the reality we experience? This notion delves into the deepest philosophical territories of quantum mechanics, forcing us to confront the role of the observer, the inherent nature of reality, and even the implications of our own existence as conscious beings within this quantum framework. If we shift our focus to the person opening the box, from the cat's perspective before the box is opened, the opener also exists in a kind of superposition of potential actions. The cat doesn't know if this person will reveal a living companion or the cause of its demise. In the cat's limited reality within the sealed box, the opener is simultaneously the bringer of life and the harbinger of death. This leads us to another fascinating aspect of the superposition, particularly when considering the many worlds interpretation. Does the cat superposition create parallel realities, or does it destroy one reality? In the case of Schrödinger's cat, according to the many worlds interpretation, when the atom decays or doesn't, the universe splits. In one branch, the atom has decayed, the poison is released, and there's a dead cat. In the other branch, the atom hasn't decayed, and there's a living cat. From this perspective, the superposition of the cat doesn't destroy a reality. It leads to the creation of multiple parallel realities, each equally real but independent of the others. We as observers within one of these branches only perceive one outcome. If the universe does indeed branch at the moment of superposition resolution, a logical follow-up question is, what happens to the shared past? It's like the trunk of a tree representing the shared past, with the branches being the different timelines. Due to the superposition leading to these parallel realities, the past gets copied and pasted to create a new, independent timeline for each branch. Because once the timelines diverge, they evolve independently. Potential misconception. So, while the poor cat in Schrödinger's thought experiment gets all tangled up, quantumly speaking, with whether that atom decays or not existing in this weird in-between state of alive and dead, The person who comes along to open the box is a different story. They don't get quantumly entangled with the cat or the atom in the same way. Instead, their simple act of opening the box is like a regular, everyday measurement. This action, on a macroscopic level, forces that delicate quantum state of the atom and the cat to snap into a definite reality. Either the cat is alive, or it isn't. Depending on how you look at it, this either makes the quantum weirdness disappear, decoherence, or just makes the observer aware of only one of the possible outcomes, like in the many worlds idea. So the person opening the box isn't part of the quantum entanglement itself. They're the one who brings about a definite result, by observing, showing us the key difference between the spooky quantum connections inside the box and our normal everyday way of seeing things. The paradox of perception. As discussed previously, our ability to experience and comprehend reality is inherently limited by our sensory systems. Phenomena beyond the sensory range often seem paradoxical or incomprehensible. Just as the existence of space after the Big Bang's expansion might be difficult to grasp without a shift in perspective, the intricacies of Schrödinger's cat experiment lie beyond our everyday intuition. Concepts like quantum superposition, being both alive and dead, the branching of timelines, and the very idea of a state existing in multiple possibilities simultaneously challenge our classical understanding. Our physical world operates on principles vastly different from the microscopic realm. For instance, time in our macroscopic experience flows linearly, second by second, while in the quantum world its nature is far more complex and still under investigation, with possibilities of movement beyond a simple forward progression. Furthermore, our physical world operates on the principle of formation, rather than creation from nothing. Our memories and decision-making processes are rooted in past experiences, highlighting our reliance on what we've already encountered. However, the Schrödinger's cat paradox forces us to consider that the absence of our direct experience doesn't negate the potential existence of such bizarre quantum realities. The purpose of the Schrödinger's cat experiment can be interpreted differently by everyone, depending on their perspective. In my view, this thought experiment illustrates how reality might function at the intersection of the quantum and physical worlds, and even touches upon the concept of a godlike position of potentiality. However, the original and complete purpose of this experiment can truly only be explained by its author, and perhaps words alone are insufficient to fully grasp his intention. Conclusion. And so, as we ponder the strange implications of a cat existing in a state of both alive and dead until observed, perhaps the most profound question that lingers is this: if a single act of observation can seemingly collapse quantum possibilities into a definite outcome within a tiny box, what was the cosmic observation or fundamental process that shaped the vast and intricate reality we inhabit? It's crucial to understand that when we talk about observation seemingly creating a definite outcome, in the Schrödinger's cat scenario, we're not suggesting the creation of entirely new particles or energy from nothing. Instead, the act of measurement forces the quantum system, the entangled atom and cat, to settle into one of the possibilities that were already inherent in its quantum state. All the fundamental components needed for either a living or a dead cat, the particles, the energy, the fields, were already contained within the system. The observation simply resolves the superposition, making one of those pre-existing realities apparent to us. This is distinct from the creation of the universe itself, where the expansion of space and the formation of fundamental particles involve vastly different processes in the early cosmos. Moreover, even though multiple realities exist, observer perspective allows only one reality.